Greetings to everyone out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to another edition of the No DQ predictions video. This time, we have WWE Backlash coming up this Sunday. It feels like we just did a predictions video a week ago, but it is in fact true. We did do one a week ago. I am being joined by the No DQ panel members. A little bit of a different lineup this time. First, of course, as usual, my right-hand guy these days, Mr. Virtue's Rage. How's it going, man?
It's going good. And so, wait, what is this pay-per-view event that we're covering, Backlash?
See.
You know what? I'm actually relieved, and I'll tell you why. WrestleMania, the greatest Royal Rumble, so big of card, of matches. I'm glad to have a normal pay-per-view for once.
Yeah.
Even if it might be boring. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. This pay-per-view, I believe, is only scheduled to be 3 hours plus the 1 hour kickoff, despite the fact that it's a dual-branded pay-per-view. You would think now that the dual-branded pay-per-views are back, they would be longer. But no, this is, I believe, a 3 hour pay-per-view. But it's the WWE Network. WWE has no limit with time, so theoretically it could go as long as the company wants it to go. We do have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. That's not including the kickoff. So we could end up having 9 matches. And that seems like an awful lot of matches for a 3 hour show or 3 hour 20 minutes if you include the kickoff. So TGS is here with us too. Tyler, your overall thoughts on the card. How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, the last time I got excited for a show was the Greatest Royal Rumble, and that turned out to be quite the letdown. So my expectations are set fairly low for this. I'll go a 3 out of 10 on this one, or 4 out of 10, just to please Bret Hart.
There you go. Very nicely said there. And you guys have requested her to be on, so we're bringing her on. We have Cindy with us tonight on the No DQ panel. How's it going, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on this video. So regarding how exciting I am for Backlash, well, to be quite honest, I am overwhelmed that we got so much wrestling content going on. I mean, last week we just had the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is another glorifying house show. And then 2 weeks before that, we had the Superstar Shakeup that kind of threw off the whole buildup for both pay-per-views. And then 2 weeks before that, we have is WrestleMania 34, and the day before that, NXT TakeOver, NOLA. So with the level of the buildup that's going, it's just became too fast-paced, and there's some that has been all over the place. So if I would rank a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have to say a 3 as well.
All right, and Tyler, you're going to get called out for that yawn. I know you only gave this pay-per-view 3 out of 10 before it even happened, but come on, man. It's not going to be that bad.
Well, it is what, like 11 o'clock over there where you're at, Tyler? 11 p.m.?
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about the show. I mean, gender's not on the card, so it can't be that bad.
Thank God.
All right, well, let's go ahead and recap these matches, and I'll get your guys' predictions, and I'll do a little predictions graphic like I usually do for every pay-per-view. So, kicking off the show, I don't have a kickoff match, by the way. Who cares, really? I mean,
yeah.
It'll just be some match, maybe the Fashion Police against the Revival or something, who knows. But anyways, the first pay-per-view match we have, Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which was literally just put together on Raw. No real build-up. There was a 6-person, I should just say 6-man tag team match with Roman Reigns added to the mix, and Jinder Mahal, and like Cindy said, thankfully no Jinder Mahal on this show. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes here, though. So Cindy, let's start off with you. Your thoughts on this match and your prediction.
Well, honestly, there is no real storyline going on. I mean, you have is Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and Kevin and Sami getting involved in like certain matches like you had before. It's like Kevin and Sami did team up with, I believe, is, of course, Jinder Mahal, or should I say Jinder Mahal, or as TJS would like to call him, Jinder Mayfall, because of the botch at the Greatest Royal Rumble. They had a match, so is Braun, Bobby, and I think Roman on the last Raw. So it just shows that it just getting involved like with like the whole throwing into like more of a 6 or 8 man tag team matches all around. But I'm gonna go ahead with my pick because honestly, first of all, the tag team division is much better after the shakeup happening. And I feel that that tag team is going to go off to a better start, especially with the next feud going on. And my pick is going to be is Kevin and Sammy. I mean, I would like to see Kevin and Sammy competing against the leaders of World, or I like to call it the Woken Warriors for the Raw tag team titles.
Well, I have a theory here. Maybe Bobby Lashley will turn heel on Braun Strowman and walk out on him, and maybe that'll lead to Owens and Zayn getting the win. How about that? TJF.
We say all these heel
Yep.
we say all these heel. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No more yawning.
Yeah.
Well,
You're next, so you stay awake. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I feel like WWE doesn't know what they're doing with any four of these guys. It seems like Sammy and Kevin were booked great on SmackDown, and now since they've come to Raw, it just seems that they're kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. As far as Braun goes, he just won the GER, and he's in a tag team match on the next show. So I guess that tells you all you need to know. And Lashley, I don't even know what's going on. He really has no storylines, like Cindy said. And I'm just not sure what's going on with these four. But I think that the Monsters are going to pick up the win here, and the baby faces, because I just don't see this. I don't see this being a feud that's going to continue. I feel like it's a throwaway match, and in that case, usually the faces will win. So then the heels can go whine or whatever and go on, and hopefully Owens and Zayn go against the deleters of worlds, like Cindy said. Virtue?
Yeah, I mean, you have Sami Zayn in this match, so therefore you know who's taking the pinfall. Aaron, you brought up that, you could see a turn. When do we call heel turn after heel turn or something cool. Never happens. So, Tyler, you're right. Strowman and Lashley are going to get the win. They'll make it look like Owens and Zayn, it'll get close, right? They'll try to do some shenanigans. But in the end, the power will win, and Zayn is going to take the pin. Power slam from Strowman. I don't think they'll give it to Lashley. I think Strowman will finish the match.
Yeah, and I remember Owens, I believe, was the one that took the pinfall on Raw. So, yeah, if Owens and Zayn lose this time, I think Zayn's will take the fall. But the only way I see Owens and Zayn winning this, I don't see Strowman getting pinned, even if Lashley walked out on Strowman. I think there's a possibility, maybe, we could see Strowman accidentally attack Bobby Lashley. It's a miscommunication, and Lashley gets pinned, and then afterwards Lashley turns heel. But other than that, that's the only scenario where I could see Owens and Zayn winning. I'm gonna go with the safe prediction and go with Lashley and Strowman on this one. But I would like personally some kind of falling out between Lashley and Strowman, so Lashley goes heel. He needs something different. He needs a complete overhaul and bring back his old music or something. His music right now, I'm not a big fan of it.
Super generic overall.
Yeah, even Kayfabe Candy Ass will say that. And
did they bring over his TNA music?
No, well, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. It's generic enough to be from TNA. All right, let's move on here.
Impact.
Yes, get it right. Impact Wrestling. But let's move on here. Next match we have Daniel Bryan versus the Big Casshole. Big Cass. This is Daniel Bryan's first one-on-one pay-per-view match since when was his last singles pay-per-view match? I don't even remember. It's been a while.
Long time.
Because it wasn't even WrestleMania 31 because that was the 6-person or 8-person ladder match. So maybe it was Fastlane 2015 against Roman Reigns.
I think it might have been.
I'm trying to remember his last singles match. So it's been a while.
I think Roman beat him at that Fastlane to get the title shot. I can't remember. It was so long.
I'm pretty sure that was the last singles match Bryan had on pay-per-view. But anyways, Virtue, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match. And Big Cass seems to be gaining some momentum as of late. Do you think it will continue? How do you move forward with this storyline?
First of all, Daniel Bryan can lose. People are still going to yes him and love him. So how do you beat Big Cass this soon if they're trying to make him look tough like a bully against little people? I don't know where they're going with that. Cass had a great promo last week on SmackDown. This week they did the whole little small person gimmick, whatever. So it's hard for me to say because it's like I think I'm going to go with Cass because I don't think he can lose this match, and with the Miz potentially maybe getting involved, I don't know. I could see Cass winning it because Daniel Bryan's one of those guys. If he loses, they can make him look like the little tough dog that fought to the very bitter end, and then something happens, it costs him the match, and he'll be okay on the next SmackDown. People will still cheer for him. It's called the chase, people. So I don't think Cass can lose, especially coming back. I'm going to go Cass. Pinfall. My official pick.
That
Tyler?
sounded very painful.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think logically here. It's hard when you're talking WWE creative.
Yeah.
Virtue pretty much hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. Daniel Bryan can afford to lose because he's very over with the fans.
Mhm.
He's the underdog character, and I think Big Cass has done a solid job at getting heat. You know, I mean, if anybody's going to get booed if they attack Bryan because he's so over. And I'm actually going to predict this match ends via referee stoppage. I think that Cass is just going to beat Bryan so bad that he's either going to get disqualified or the ref is just going to stop the match. But I'll go with the referee stoppage because it could tie into real life. How people could say, "Oh, Daniel just got cleared and he's been beat, so bad or whatever," and then they'd be concerned about him because he can't compete. Bryan can't because Cass could just give him the boot over and over and over. You could claim concussion or whatever. And like I said, that would tie in with real life. It would get Cass booed because he could say that he re-retired Bryan. And then you could have Bryan come back and say that he's not retired. And they could have a rematch where Bryan would ultimately go over. And then he could go against The Miz at SummerSlam. Cindy?
Well, I mean, there is a whole concern going on with Daniel Bryan. I mean, he didn't appear on SmackDown Live because of his quote unquote a precaution for the chest infection. I mean, you guys seen that Daniel Bryan's chest was like so flaming red during the Greatest Royal Rumble. And then we all saw that Big Cass is the one that eliminated Daniel Bryan at the GRO or GER, as what TJS were saying. So I feel that with that match, they wanted to make sure that Daniel Bryan is okay if he's getting ready to go compete with that satin foot giant. But overall, I would like Daniel Bryan to win, but there is no way that he's going to be the one that's going to be Big Cass. And I do sense that there's probably going to be a slight interference going on with The Miz so far. So I'm going to go ahead with my pick, and my pick is going to be, of course, Big Cass to win with the interference with The Miz. But that is like one of the theory that I have. But I have another theory about The Miz, which I'm going to get into that later on so far. And also, real quick, the identity of that little Daniel Bryan is none other than Ontario indie wrestler Kid Canuck. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Thank you for that information. And I'm going to agree with everybody. I think Big Cass is going to win this. I think there's more scenarios that point to Cass winning. Maybe The Miz interferes. Maybe, as TGS brought up, perhaps there's a referee stoppage. Cass just beats Bryan. And it's kind of like maybe Shawn Michaels and Owen Hart from '95, where Cass does something and Bryan's hurt and can't continue. And that's the finish for that match. So yeah, I think Cass will probably win. And Virtue, you mentioned it's too soon for Cass to be losing. I think all of you made great points, and yeah, I think Cass is going to win this one by hook or by crook. Somehow he will pull off the victory. Bryan will probably get a second match down the line, beat Cass, and then maybe face The Miz at SummerSlam. So we're all going with Cass on that one. Let's move on here to Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Let's see if anybody has a different opinion on this one. Now, the last two events, I picked Roman Reigns and he lost. I'm still going with Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is going to beat Joe. If he loses, if Samoa Joe, more specifically, if Samoa Joe pins or submits Roman Reigns, I will give away a free NoDQ.com t-shirt to anybody that retweets me on Twitter. And that was originally Virtue's idea, which I stole from him since I'm known for doing that. ripping
What
off
if Roman
people.
passes
Good.
out?
Now I don't have to put my thing on the line anymore. So that's good. I'm glad you do that.
Just pinfall or submission. It has to be pinfall or submission, but I think Reigns is winning. TGS, you want to start us off here? Any thoughts?
Yeah, there's no way that Reigns is going to lose this, especially after losing at WrestleMania and losing at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I think Reigns is going to get his win back, and then who knows where he goes from here. All I know is that Reigns is going to win. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Cindy, what do you think?
Well, I just don't want to go for another rant again, just like at the last video with Big Jeff and Kyle that we all expressed about the whole Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar situation. But I'm just going to go cut to the chase for my pick. And my obvious pick is going to be Samoa Joe, because I have a feeling that with Samoa Joe, he's going to be the one that's going to be Roman. And as for what we saw on SmackDown Live, that he did have a confrontation with AJ Styles, which it looks like is probably going to be a teaser of a feud between AJ and Samoa Joe. However, I stated on the No DQ Live on the call-in that Samoa Joe's going to be the one that's going to enter in the Money in a Bank, and he's going to be the one that's going to win that Money in a Bank briefcase. So it's either going to be either Samoa Joe or AJ Styles at SummerSlam, or possibly going to be a triple threat match between AJ, Shinsuke, and Joe. But this is like all of an endless possibility for that. But with Roman Reigns, I mean, I honestly feel that, and there's probably going to be another Universal title rematch against Brock Lesnar that I feel it's probably going to be a triple threat or a fatal four-way, adding in two more competitors for that Universal title rematch, which I don't want to see another Roman versus Brock Lesnar match, but, you know, with WWE logic, it's probably going to happen. So what about you, Virtue?
The end game is still putting that Universal Championship on Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon has his reasons that he's left it around Brock. For whatever reason, the whole I'm going back to UFC, fooling the people. Knowing that, you know, people don't like Reigns, maybe Vince is just playing us all. Joe does a very good job of getting to the big matches, but like with Lesnar and with Strowman, I can't remember who else, or Reigns before, Joe loses these matches, and that's exactly what's going to happen here because it is a SmackDown versus Raw guy. Roman could get a win back that he hasn't had for a while. Joe can go on to SmackDown and start his new feud. We forget about it in a week. So Roman, he's going to lock it up. He's going to Superman punch Joe just when you think Joe's got the win, and then they're going to get tangled up in the ropes. Roman comes back. Boom, spear, uno, dos, tres.
Yeah.
Ooh, raw.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Joe win. I'd love to see Joe win, and then Reigns just continues this downward spiral leading to a heel turn, but that's wishful thinking, I think. I got to give you credit, though, Cindy. You're going against the popular predictions here and going with some different picks. And knowing WWE, anything is possible. I remember WrestleMania. There were several matches where the person we all thought was going to win did not win. Anything can happen.
You know what, Eric?
in WWE.
I'm so confident, too, that Roman's going to win this match. Cindy, if he does not, you will get a Virtue's Rage shirt.
I'm
wow.
fine with that.
There we go.
So Samoa Joe has to win for you now.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just add it to.
And you can donate it to Goodwill if you don't want it, but I'll hold up on that.
It definitely needs more of the No DQ t-shirt. Like, I'm planning on getting them all.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Paycheck. My paycheck.
let's move on here and talk about the SmackDown Women's title match. Carmella versus Charlotte Flair. Carmella, her first big title defense. Actually, I think it's her first title defense, period. So the question is, will Charlotte regain the title right away, or will Carmella have somewhat of a decent run, as TGS yawns again? Cindy, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match?
TJ Vito.
Do you think we're going to see a title change this quickly, or do you think Carmella's going to hold on to it for a while?
I honestly feel that Carmella is definitely going to hold on to the title, especially the fact that now that she is aligning with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics. So now that they're now forming this stable known as Invincible from several reports that I've been seeing on social media, I would like to see like more of like a bigger feud with Carmella with anybody else. But regarding with Charlotte, like I know that the Iconics were the one that crosses Charlotte to lost the title to Carmella. So I would like to see like there's gonna be a feud going on between Charlotte and the Iconics and a potential tag team partners for her. Now we have is the Miss Money in the Bank for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up. And so I definitely would see Charlotte being in the another of the Miss Money in the Bank matches. And so we'll have Carmella hold on to the title. Again, either Charlotte will be in the Miss Money in the Bank match, or she's probably going to have another of the feud with Carmella. But it's a lot of these whole logical reasoning from WWE. But what I've been noticed lately is the whole tag team dynamics that has been building up for both Raw and SmackDown Women's Division too. Like regarding the Riot Squad, now Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are now on their own, and then the Iconics and Carmella, and then you have is Becky and Asuka and Charlotte like aligning together. Alexa Bliss, Mickie James from the Raw side, and then Nia and Ember. So I have like a gut feeling that there may be gonna be a women's tag team title in the works. I know it's like too much titles for both Raw and SmackDown, but I think it's gonna happen so far. But then back to my pick again, it's gonna be Carmella to retain the title. So what about you, TJS?
Well, I actually think that Charlotte is going to regain the title here. Because if you think about it, if Charlotte loses this match, then it makes it feel like her ending Asuka's undefeated streak was worthless. Like it, I mean, it didn't do much for her to begin with, but if she loses again after she ended that streak, I think that Charlotte would just go downhill. I think that they just gave the championship to Carmella as a feel good moment, and because they didn't want to have the men or the women's Money in the Bank winner look weak, the first ever, because if they failed to cash in, then it would look way less prestigious.
Right.
So I feel like that Charlotte's just going to regain it here, and maybe she'll go on to feud with Asuka some more. I mean, they pretty much made Asuka a joke. I mean, with the Avengers line backstage.
Oh, yeah.
Now she's like best friends with Becky Lynch or whatever. She went from being like an ass kicker to like one of the super friends. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Charlotte's gonna pick up the championship here. Virtue, what do you think?
I agree that Charlotte's going to win the match, but I think it's going to be disqualification or count out. Again, you have the Iconics, or is it the Iconics?
The Iconics, yes.
Okay. So they could come out. That could be the disqualification or even contribute to the count out. So therefore, Charlotte gets the win, but Carmella keeps the title. Easy peasy. And I think that's what you were going to say, Aaron.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
now I have to rip you off yet again by saying the same exact thing you just said.
Well, when you bring these matches up, sometimes you can talk about it first before you pass it on.
That is true. Well, maybe I'll do that for the next match. I agree with you, Virtue. I think Charlotte is going to win, but not win the title. There's going to be some sort of shenanigans. This will be the match that just has some kind of screwy finish, and the feud will continue. But Cindy mentioned maybe Charlotte's going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Maybe Charlotte wins the Money in the Bank ladder match and cashes it in on Carmella. Has that ever happened before, where somebody cashes it in on somebody and then that person that lost wins the briefcase and then cashes it back in and wins the title back? Has that ever happened?
No, I don't think
Nope.
so.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't know, but Greg's not here, so we cannot confirm with him, unfortunately. But I think that's a possibility. Maybe Charlotte Flair, although she'll probably be in the title match if she doesn't win on Sunday. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's move on here to Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. I don't really want to go first on this one because I really have no idea what to make of this match. I mean, I really don't care that much. I think Nia's going to win because I sense, based off of Raw this week, that there's going to be some sort of Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax match at some point. And I think that's a more marketable match than Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. So by that logic, I will go with Nia Jax to retain. She'll beat Alexa, and I don't know where Alexa goes from here, but I sense Nia's going to be doing something with Rousey at some point. TJS, you want to start us off with this one?
Yeah. It's like you said, Nia's gonna win this one. I think it's Nia's time. I think she'll have a pretty good long reign until SummerSlam, which is when Ronda is gonna take the title from her.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you said, that's a very marketable match. It's your whole David versus Goliath thing, and if they build Nia Jax up right, I think that she could look like a believable challenger to Rousey. So, like I said, Nia's gonna win, and I have no idea where Bliss goes from here. What do you think, Virtue?
Well, I think Alexa's had an incredible run. If everybody remembers when the Four Horsewomen came up from NXT, you didn't think Alexa Bliss was going to be the biggest pushed star. I mean, granted, Charlotte has probably been the biggest one, but Alexa has had a great run. She's held both women's championships, I think multiple times on the Raw one. I can't remember, but nonetheless, she did the job to Nia at WrestleMania, and I think she's going to complement that with she's going to scratch and claw and try to win it back, but Nia's going to retain. I don't know what Nia's moves are. I don't even know what her finisher is. But I could see her. I could see her getting Alexa up again and doing that off the second turnbuckle, just like at Mania, almost like a rinse and repeat. She's going to retain. Cindy.
Well, I mean, I am pretty impressed with Alexa Bliss doing the whole PSA, the Moment of Bliss segment of how she fabricated how Nia is being a bully and how she is like picking on Alexa. I mean, it just shows that Alexa Bliss has her outstanding mic skill. Her promos are outstanding. Even on like the worst situation, she knows how to make everything work. And that is why I adore Alexa Bliss. She is like one of my favorite current female talents in WWE. However, regarding with the whole match going on, since I know that Alexa Bliss didn't even compete right after Mania, even though she was involved in a 10-women tag team match, but she didn't get into the ring and all that because there's already been confirmed report that she got her enhancement done, and which we all know what it is. But so far, and I have to agree with the majority of you guys, is Nia Jax is definitely going to be the one that's going to retain the title. And I would love to see Nia versus Ronda Rousey. However, I know that Ronda is aligned with Natalya, Natalya is now a babyface ever since she got drafted to Raw. Like, are we going to be able to see like a heel turn for Natalya and Ronda? Because I would love to see it. And if it's going to be happening for a Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey, you'll have Natalya be the one that's going to like coach along Ronda Rousey, since she is the one that helped Ronda to train for her in-ring debut and whatnot. So time would tell what's going to happen. But overall, my pick is Nia Jax.
All right, so we're all in agreement on that one for that match. Let's move on here to the United States Championship match. Jeff Hardy defending against Randy Orton. I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I really want to see a heel turn. I want to see Orton go heel. It seems like it's long overdue. There's so many guys. It's funny. Yeah. There's like a list of like half a dozen people I want to see turn heel, and none of them ever turn. So I don't know. The one guy I never expected to turn heel, Nakamura, was the guy that turned heel. Although he's doing pretty well for himself. But we'll get to that in a few minutes here.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Hardy will retain just because he won the title recently, and maybe Orton will snap or turn heel. I don't really know what to make of this one either. Virtue, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match?
I find it so funny when somebody like Randy Orton is sitting there thinking the U.S. title is his title. Like, he is so above. I know Cena had that run, right, to try to make that belt credible. But, and I get it with the Intercontinental title because, Brock takes the Universal title away. So I get the Intercontinental title being a big deal on Raw. Randy Orton's not going to win the U.S. title. I don't even know why. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Because he needed to be a Grand Slam champion. Jeff's going to win this match. I think Jeff's going to win this match to keep the title. I think he's going to actually pin it. TJ, all your racket noise over there?
Well, I agree with you. I think Jeff is going to retain here. and I'm hoping that these two have several matches, and Jeff Hardy beats Orton every time, maybe just by the skin of his teeth, and then we get that heel turn that we've been patiently waiting for. Hopefully, I could see like after the match, maybe not this match, but in the future, Randy Orton will lay Jeff Hardy out, beat him down with a chair, and then maybe he'll give him the punt kick or something. That would be just great, and then Randy can win the U.S. title later. But for now, I'm saying that Jeff's going to retain. Cindy?
Why does Randy need to win the U.S. title, though? He should just be kicking people's butts.
Yeah, why?
Well, if you think about who's the United States champion, and then you say Randy Orton, that guy has the star power to elevate the championship.
Jeff Hardy doesn't.
Oh my God.
I'd have to say that Jeff's, but now we're turning this into a no DQ review. I have to say Jeff, even though it was a short main event run, I think he's had more popularity in WWE than Randy Orton.
I just want Randy to be heel. That's all I want.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair enough.
Agree.
Cindy, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you guys know that I'm not a huge fan of the whole, title switches or the hot potatoing so far.
Right.
I'm happy that Jeff finally retained the title. The U.S. Title has been retaining for, thank goodness. And thank God Jinder Mahal is not the U.S. champion. So, anywho. So, with the build-up going on with the U.S. title seems to be a little bit lacking going on, but then again, very fast-paced because of the whole build-up for the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then you have his for Backlash, and it's confusing that you have his two baby faces going on, even though Randy Orton was the one that surprisingly RKO Jeff after they both won the tag team match against The Miz and Shelton Benjamin. So my pick is going to be Jeff Hardy to retain, and I have a gut feeling that we may going to see another Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton at the Money in the Bank match. But then again, it's going to be a triple threat because we have a Shelton Benjamin is involved with that whole storyline going on after the whole shakeup that happens. So Jeff's going to retain Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Jeff versus Randy Orton versus Shelton Benjamin for the United States title. And I could definitely see The Miz getting into the United States title picture again. Who knows?
Let's not forget about Rusev Day. Maybe Rusev will be out and they'll do another fatal four-way match for the United States title. You never know. So we're all going with Hardy, right?
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's move on here to the Intercontinental Championship match. Speaking of The Miz, we were just talking about him here. The Miz challenging Seth Rollins. It's another Raw versus SmackDown match. I think this one is maybe the easiest one to predict, which means we all get it wrong and The Miz ends up winning the title. But I'm gonna go on a limb and say Seth Rollins retains the title. Should be a hell of a match, though. I expect that this will be one of the better matches on the show. Maybe the potential show stealer. Who knows? Cindy, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match. Do you think we'll see any kind of swerve?
Honestly, there's not going to be no swerve going on. So this is going to be a very easy pick since that this is going to be probably the last time we'll see The Miz will compete for trying to get the Intercontinental title. But, it's not going to happen. So my obvious pick, and of course the shirt says it all, Seth Rollins.
Of course. We should know better. I shouldn't even have to ask you the question. You're wearing the shirt.
Exactly.
TJS. All right. You wanna go against us here, or are you gonna pick Mr. Burn It Down?
Is this a one-on-one match, Aaron?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This match it could be so surprising. It could be the biggest surprise since the double turn at WrestleMania 13. No. Seth is gonna win.
Yeah.
It's obvious. There's not much else to say about this, except that Seth is just on fire as a babyface. No pun intended. This guy, he's just really, really good right now. I'm glad that he brought the curb stomp back, and hopefully he'll elevate that championship. So, Virtue?
Rollins, curb stomp.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say about that? Yeah. I think Rollins is just so red hot right now. Him losing would be a mistake. Again,
it's a brand versus a brand match, so Miz can lose, and and go on and feud with Daniel Bryan and team up with Big Cass on SmackDown, and everybody forgets about it. So, you know.
All right, so we're all going with Rollins on that one. We're agreeing on some of these other matches here. Like 3 or 4 of these matches we're all agreeing on. All right, let's see if we all agree on the main event. AJ Styles, Mr. Balls being busted, AJ Styles against Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship, and it is a no DQ match. So I like the addition of the no DQ stipulation. Just saying. I think it should be a very good match, probably the best match of their series. I'm hoping this is the final match of the night. I don't think Reigns and Joe needs to close the show. I'd love to see AJ and Nakamura close the show and just have a great main event, go all out, and make it an all-time classic. And I think there's a decent chance of it happening because often we see the rematch from WrestleMania end up being a better match than the WrestleMania match. It's happened more than once over the years at various WWE pay-per-view events. Now, TJS, why don't we start with you on this one? Do you think Shin is going to win? Do you think AJ will finally wear a cup this time? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, this one's actually kind of hard for me to call, believe it or not, and I'm not being sarcastic this time.
I agree.
I feel like AJ Styles definitely deserves a fairly long reign. But then again, I feel like WWE wouldn't just drop the ball with Nakamura since they just turned him heel, just gave him the new theme music, and I don't know. If I had to make a prediction, if I was just going to go out on a limb, I'm going to say that Nakamura is going to finally win the championship here since he won the Rumble, he lost at WrestleMania, lost at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I feel like if they didn't, you know what? Yeah, I'm going with Nakamura, and I'm a little worried about this match since it's no disqualification because I feel like these two would be better in a technical showcase more than a street fight, which I feel like that's what this is just going to turn into.
Well, this is personal. This is personal
yes,
now.
I was about to say I disagree
about
with
a
you
dozen
on that,
times
Tyler,
now.
because of that. Yeah.
Good point. This is personal. So I hope that it feels like a fight then, not just a technical showcase. So
see what we did right there? That's my puppet now.
All right, Cindy,
yeah,
your
I think
thoughts?
Nakamura.
Well, I mean, like the match at the Greatest Royal Rumble was very phenomenal, except for that ending that I was even a huge fan of the count out between AJ and Shin. However, since this is a no DQ match so far, and hopefully AJ's gonna wear a cup, like
he better.
Or about yeah, exactly.
Well,
so,
it would make for a great moment that when he goes to do that, all of a sudden Nakamura's holding his arm and then AJ reaches in and pulls it out.
Yes.
That would just be everybody. That would be all over the internet.
They have to do it, right?
Exactly.
We thought
carry on, Cindy.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So that's what I really wanted to see so far, since it's going to be the whole no DQ match. Overall, my question is, will it top like AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura from the New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 10 match? Probably slightly not, but I would say that, this is like much more of like a personal match between these two competitors, especially with Shinsuke now as a very cocky heel with a very cocky attitude, and his theme entrance is so amazing. But I'm going to have to go with my gut feeling is that the feud is still going to continue. I feel that AJ Styles is going to retain the title, and with the feud between him and Shinsuke, it's probably going to be carrying on to Money in the Bank, and then all the way to SummerSlam, botch. And for that SummerSlam match, I would like to see like a triple threat match, as I mentioned before, AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to agree with Tyler. I think this is where Nakamura becomes the WWE champion because Vince McMahon is now comfortable with this idea because Nakamura is a heel and he speak no English. And when I saw on SmackDown, he held that title up but in the heel way, just cocky over AJ. Then I was like, I could see Vince McMahon seeing that and saying, let's go with it. It kind of reminded me, I don't know if anybody remembers back when, way back, not the WWE title, when Jericho finally first attacked China. He was new. He had the shiny pants, his shiny shirt, and he held that Intercontinental title over China, ended up going on to win it. I know this is different, but I got that vibe that this is the time for Nakamura. He's going to beat AJ. Obviously, it can kind of protect AJ because it's no DQ, so he could do something really dastardly to beat him. I still think the cup gimmick's going to happen, Aaron. That would be cool. But I think that Nakamura is going to have a plan B and still become the champ, finally.
Well,
what do you think?
I think that's a solid prediction. I'd like to see Nakamura be the WWE champion, but I do think the cup is going to be the finish. I think Nakamura's going to go for the low blow. AJ's going to be wearing the cup finally. He's going to hit the Styles Clash. He's going to retain the title. Maybe Nakamura gets one more shot, though, somehow. Maybe, like Cindy said, we'll see a triple threat with Joe added to the mix. And that reminded me of the Scott Steiner math promo for some reason. I think we might see Nakamura maybe win the title in a triple threat situation, but maybe Joe will win it. Who knows? But yeah, I think AJ's going to retain. I could see it going either way, though. I think Nakamura very well could win the title. This one's hard to predict. TJS, you got something to add?
Yeah, what if Nakamura is the one that wears the cup? Like,
Yes.
let's say
AJ
gets
but
the
thing
super
is
mad.
that's the heel outsmarting the babyface. I don't know if WWE would book that. That would be really interesting, though.
Look at the Miz. He outsmarts people all the time.
We'll probably
What the
get
Miz
no
wants.
cup because they wouldn't understand that, and Vince would be like, "Well, in order to do that gimmick, that means you got to pull it out, and I don't want them pulling the cup out and showing the kids." So watch that not even happen now.
Yeah, it won't even happen. It won't even happen.
Now I could just see it though. Like Nakamura hits the low blow on AJ, and then you have AJ on his knees already, and then Nakamura hits the Kinshasa 1, 2, 3. I can just see that now.
AJ Styles would be the dumbest babyface of all time if that happened, but who knows? Anything's possible. Anything is indeed possible. All right, guys, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you to everyone out there for watching the video today, and thank you to the No DQ panel for being on. Let's go ahead and do the plugs. Cindy, let's start with you. Anything you would like to promote?
All right, so you guys can follow me on Instagram for photo art, Twitter for etc., and I have a YouTube channel as well regarding independent pro wrestling. So follow me at all three at simply_C_OK.
All right, and TJ, thank you for being on late. I know it's almost midnight where you're at right now, so you guys cut him a little bit of slack. It's very late over there on the East Coast of the United States.
It's late over here too.
Is it Eastern time where you're at? Tyler?
It's 11:48 p.m. Tyler, I bet you it's only 10:48 where you are.
Yeah, it's central here.
So
Okay,
we're later here.
All right, well, you cannot cut
West
him.
Coast.
You cannot cut him that much slack. See, Cindy and I are on the West Coast, so it's still early for us. But thank you for being on, TJ, and your plugs.
You can follow me everywhere at NoDQ_TJS. You see Aaron wearing the Wrestling Trivia Challenge shirt. You can go to NoDQ.com/shirts to get that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the beach ball in the background there. You can, Cindy and Aaron have it. Also, that beanie right there that Aaron's holding. There's a bundle going on. Is that still going?
Yeah, but there's very limited quantity. I literally have like 2 beanies left.
So you guys better get on it then. That's $27 total for that. And, of course, the Virtuous Rage shirt. Like I said, NoDQ.com/shirts. And Virtue, get the plugs out.
Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. And because we filmed this on Tuesday night, I did not do my Raw and SmackDown video, but I have a special solo Virtue's Rage coming up in a day or two. Ready, everybody? It's going to be my brand new State of the Roman Empire. And it's going to be, I expected to do this one with him being the Universal Champ. Now that he's not, you're going to be very interested to see what I have to say now.
All right, and Virtue, you forgot to mention you have a URL that redirects to your Facebook page, NoDQ.com.
I'm not used to it yet, so plug that one for me. It'll take me a couple weeks.
It's NoDQ.com/Virtue. So just go there, and it'll take you right to Virtue's Facebook page. which I believe is facebook.com/lewis.b.finkelstein.
My good old buddy Lewis. Yeah,
Oh,
we gotta
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
touch
love
base
it.
with.
Yeah,
Gotta touch base.
the
With
no
that guy.
DQ URL is a little
Yeah.
bit easier for people to remember, straight to the point. I'm going to make one too for you guys, one for you, Cindy, and one for you, TJS, which will redirect to whatever you guys want. Just message me on Facebook. Let me know what you want me to redirect it to. I'll give you guys a
Right.
URL.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so thank you
Okay,
guys
thanks.
again for being on. No problem. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Backlash. And I will be back with No DQ Live with my thoughts. And follow everybody on Twitter, and we will see you all next time.
Believe that.
Cheers.